Hi, it's Massimo. Don't you have the feeling that you're always under surveillance? There are all these cameras everywhere. They're always pointing at you. Security cameras, phones, and even doorbells.
Yeah?
Doorbells are turning into security cameras. They record video, they end up in clouds you don't know anything about, and the images gets used in multiple ways you know nothing about. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the power of the Arduino UNO Q and open source software to create a doorbell with a camera with advanced features that you control that respects your privacy. So follow me in this journey to build the perfect privacy-respecting, intelligent, smart doorbell with the Arduino UNO Q. And now, if only anybody would open this damn door, we could get started. So we're building this entry phone with a camera, and I wanted to build something that would be as much private as possible, that would be completely open source, and obviously based on our trusted Arduino UNO Q. So I'm gonna have a chat with my friend Pepe to figure out the hardware that we need to do this and move on to the design phase. Okay, we have it. So we made a decision that instead of making one big PCB, we are actually going to break down the functionality in a number of small I2C modules that in the Arduino language they're called Modulino. And this allows us to build reusable functions that we can use in other projects. So we connect all that back to the media carrier, and then finally there is a camera module that's going to capture the audio, and then we have one last module which is an existing Modulino from Arduino, which is just a relay. So we can lock and unlock the door. Now on to work.
Yeah.
So Paola is off designing the case, Pepe is designing the hardware, and I'm trying to figure out how all these different parts are fitting together. So I'm here on the bench doing some little bit more software development to smooth out a couple of bugs, but we're getting there. The system is almost ready. I'm using a Modulino base to get all my circuits organized. It's very interesting. When I look at the camera for more than a few seconds, it says a person was detected at the door, and I have a picture. I have a picture of the person, so it's here. Obviously, that's me. And then...
Please come in.
And then I can press the door, or I can take a new snapshot and I get a new picture of what's going on over there. So I can get a snapshot of what's going on out there. And then I can say...
Please come back tomorrow.
Or...
Please come closer to the camera.
I think this is very interesting because, yes, we could implement direct communication between Telegram and this, but I thought that we could actually record this audio, and you could record the audio with the voice of somebody else so that it sounded like you're not living alone. I think the nice thing about this project is that it's completely open source. The AI is running locally, so the picture of the person, yes, it shows up on Telegram, but it never goes into the cloud, it never goes into an algorithm. It's all private and personal. So for this particular design, we made the choice to actually not design a fully custom PCB, but to actually design the different modules as a Modulino style modules. So we have a touch sensor. So we're going to use this to sense when people press this area here where you're supposed to touch. Then we have another module, which is audio. So this is an audio amplifier that can connect to the speaker that's going to be there. And it's got a microphone on it. And you can actually use I2C to control different parameters on the speaker, like volume, for example. Yeah, okay. And the last one, actually this one, I think it's very universal. So it's a small microcontroller that's designed to drive smart LEDs, like what Adafruit calls neopixels. So the idea is you have a Modulino I2C connection, the microcontroller here has a firmware, and the firmware drives the LED strip without having to implement it in the firmware on the board. So this is going to be useful for a bunch of different applications. So that's why we made Modulino, so we can reuse them in other projects. So this is the design that Paola worked on. Let's put it together a little bit. So we have this part here where there is holes for the speaker, a fisheye camera, and then there is a small hole for the microphone and the touch sensitive button with some transparent plastic so that we can light up the back. Then Paola designed this system. This is mounted on the wall, and then you snap it and it's fixed. And then we have room at the bottom to get the cable out for the power and the two screws to hold everything together. Here's the speaker with its own kind of box around it. Then here we have the Arduino UNO Q that sits here. So we have a number of holes with brass inserts so we can screw things in. And then we have our trusty media carrier so that we can connect the camera to the Arduino, take out the audio, send it to the amplifier, send it to the speaker, microphone. I think, and then we have the Modulino connection from the UNO Q that goes to the different Modulinos. This bad boy sits here and it's to mount one of the Modulinos. I think it's a simple, elegant design. I actually love the color. The best part is that we printed it this color because we ran out of any other decent filament. But then this turned out to be a beautiful color, so we are gonna keep it. So we have all the parts. Should we assemble it? Yeah. Okay, the camera is working. The LED is working. Point it at your face. We will have to use the software to just look at the camera straight. Give it the time to the algorithm to figure. Okay, the person was detected at the door. Okay, so in this mode, the object doesn't need you to ring. Whenever you approach it and it sees the face of a human being in the camera, it sends me a message. And it says the person was detected. So now I can say,
Please come closer to the camera.
I can ask somebody to get closer to the camera, or I can actually say,
Please leave or I will call the police.
I will call the police.
911 emergency.
I saw a burglar.
Exactly. So obviously you can get a new snapshot. I'm not sure if this actually works, but yes, you get a new picture from this. You can actually press the button and open the door, or you can ignore it, or you can do things like,
Please come back tomorrow.
or if it's like a package person, you can,
Please leave the package at the door.
okay, try to see if you can get the sensor to work. Can you touch it with the finger from inside? We have to improve the contact on the front, but let's try. Okay, see, now someone is at the door. Now I can,
Please come back later.
a person was detected at the door. It's full of people, this place.
Please leave or I will call the police.
This is Frank Drebin, Police Squad.
So we need to put like a protective plexiglass here to cover, and we need to improve the touch. Another person was detected at the door.
Please leave or I will call the police.
Fire up the roof.
This amplifier is like pushing it, boom, boom. And then over here you have a web interface, so you can install like a tablet somewhere and point it at this address. And so you can okay, I don't want to open, and I can go like this. See, when the interface is open, that thing lights up. So if I want to, I can open the relay, or I can hang up. So we need to add a line of code to the Python, which will flip the image, okay?
Please come closer to the camera. Please leave or I will call the police.
Thanks, Max. Thanks.
So we got very far. So the architecture, just to recap on the nerdy details, basically I have an Arduino UNO Q, which is mounting this thing called the media carrier, which allows you to connect 2 cameras and a DSI display. At the moment we're not using the display, and you have 3 audio connection, 1 for a microphone, 1 for a earphone they call it, and 1 for a headphone. So we're using the headphone output, and the rest of the circuit is made of this little Modulino here. This is just using a simple STM32 tiny microcontroller, which is using I2C as a common sort of protocol, and it drives smart LEDs. So we built a little firmware where I can send simple messages and it will drive up to 25 LEDs with this particular firmware. So this kind of alleviates the Linux machine from dealing with these LEDs, which needs very, very precise pulses. Then we have a touch sensor, which at the moment is a little bit lacking a bit of discipline, but we're gonna fix it. And then underneath here, there is the audio amplifier. There's a tiny hole in the box. This is where the audio comes in when you speak. And then there is a speaker here in a little plastic box that kind of amplifies the sound. So the audio amplifier drives this, and you can hear it from here. And the camera, it's using an IMX219 Sony sensor. It's probably the one that's best supported by Arduino UNO Q at the moment. So there's still a few things that we need to kind of improve, like the touch sensing needs a little bit of improvement for reliability, but it's done. It's pretty nice. So we got it working, and it's actually useful. It's pretty amazing. It actually does its job. But it's not a finished product, and that's not the objective, to build a completely finished product. It's a very good indication of the kind of things you can build with the Arduino UNO Q, where your data stays with you and you control what happens to your data. There's quite a few of these doorbell cameras where you don't know where the images go, you don't know what happens to that. This thing is pretty safer, let's put it this way, not safe. I'm not huge fan of using Telegram, but it's very simple to program and it's reasonably private. It's way better than just sending the data to like a cloud where you don't know anything about it. So this product can be improved and we will continue to work on it, but we're gonna put all the files in the description so that you can actually build one and you can help us improve, because using these tools, we can build a digital world where your data is yours and you control what happens with the data that you create. Because in a world where everything is digital, even whoever rings your bell, it's a piece of information that people want to have. And it should just stay with you and the person who rang the doorbell. So help us build a more private and safe digital world by starting with open source and hardware like Arduino UNO Q.